Welcome to Math with Mr. Strands. This is Matthew C. Zeta, lesson 11a, talking about percentages. Okay, so let's look at these. Write each percent as a decimal. The first two have been done for us. So let's go to number 3. We have 30%. Okay, so when you're making, I'm going to change my drawing or my marker here. Hang on one second. Okay, so when you're changing a percent into a decimal, very simple. All you're doing is moving the decimal to the left 2 places. Okay. So I'm going to write this a little bigger here. If I have 30%, that means right now my decimal is going to be right here, okay? To change that into a decimal rather than a percent, I'm just going to move it over 2 spots. So this becomes now 0.30 as a decimal, okay? So number 4, 85% would become 0.85. Okay, number 5, 10% would become 0.1, or you could write 0.10, same thing. And then number 6, 2 to the left would make that 0.09, right? Because if you have 9%, sorry, my 9s look weird. If you have 9%, you move it over twice, you're going to have a 0 here, so 0.09. Okay, write each percentage as a simplified fraction. First one has been done for us. So for number 7, you can see they did 20%. Percent means per 100, right? Think of a penny as a cent. It's out of 100. Right? So any percent is always going to be out of 100. So 20 over 100, you reduce that, it becomes 1/5. Okay, number 8, we got 5%, right? So that means it's going to be 5 out of 100. If we reduce this fraction, you're going to have 1/20th, right? Because 5 goes into itself one time, 5 goes into 100 20 times. Okay, number 9, we have 75%. So that's going to be 75 over 100. Okay, if we reduce this, we can reduce it by the number 25. 25 goes into 75 3 times. 25 goes into 100 4 times. So it reduces down to 3/4. Okay, let's look at number 10. Write each fraction as a decimal and a percentage. Please memorize these equivalents. Okay, so for number 10, we're going to write each fraction as a decimal. So 1 over 1, right? Anything over the same number is just going to be the number 1. So 1 would be my decimal. As a percent, right? So when we make a decimal into a percent, we're going to move the decimal 2 places to the right. So this would become 100%. Okay, number 11 would be 1/2. Okay, so to make this into a decimal, we should memorize that 1/2 is 0.50. But let's say we did not know that it was 0.50. The way we would figure that out is we're just going to, in my previous video, remember I mentioned that this fraction bar is really just a division bar. So if we do 1 divided by 2, this would be my decimal right here, right? We can see 2 goes into 1 0 times, but it goes into 10, 1 0, 5 times. So here's where I get my decimal. Okay, to make that a percent, I'm going to move it over to the right 2 places, so that becomes 50%. Okay, number 12, 1/4. So 1 divided by 4 is going to give you the decimal 0.25, which becomes 25%. Again, if you wanted to see that in a division, you would do 1 divided by 4. Okay, 4 goes into 1 0 times. It goes into 10 twice, which would be 8. Bring down your 0. 4 goes into 20 5 times. So there's your 0.25. Okay, number 13, 3 divided by 4 is going to give us the decimal 0.75, which becomes 75%. And then number 14, 1 divided by 5, right? So 1, let's look at this. If we take 1 divided by 5, 5 goes into 1 0 times. It goes into 10 2 times. So your decimal is going to be 0.2. Move that decimal over 2 times to the right, which would give you 20%. Okay, so number 15, word problems. The sales tax rate is 6%. How much tax will you have to pay on a magazine that costs $3? Okay, so if we have $3, we have to pay 6%. So we're going to multiply that $3 times our 6%. So 6% as a decimal would be 0.06. Okay, So 6 times 3 would be 18. I'm just going to add on my 2 zeros. I have 4 decimal places, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I would have to pay 18 cents on top of the $3. So my total cost for the magazine would be $3.18. Okay, number 16, Jim ordered breakfast that was $7.60. He wanted to leave a tip that is 15% of the cost of the meal. How much will the tip be? Okay, so we got $7.60. We're going to multiply that by our tip. 15% as a decimal, that's 0.15. We're going to multiply this, and this will tell us how much the tip will be. Okay, 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 7 is 35. 38 would be if you added 3 to it. We're going to put one placeholder. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 7 is 7. Add these up. Sorry, I'm going to add them up down here. 0, 0. 8 times 6 is, or 8 plus 6 is 14. It's 10, 11. We have 4 decimal places. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's going to add on about $1.14. That is his tip on a $7.60 breakfast. He's going to leave the tip of about $1.14. Okay, I'm going to erase this here. Number 17, a t-shirt costs $7.60, but it's 50% off. What is the sales price? Okay, so we have $7.60. Half off means we can either divide this number by 2 or we can multiply it by 0.50. Okay, so let's actually, if something's half off, you cut it in half, right? So I'm going to actually divide this by 2. Okay, my decimal goes here. 2 goes into 7 3 times, which would give us 6. I'm going to bring down my 6. 2 goes into 16 8 times, and then I'm going to add my 0 there. So we're taking off $3.80. So the sales price would be our $7.60 minus our $3.80. Okay, need to borrow, so I'm going to go all the way over here, borrow 1 from the 7, which would make this a 6. This becomes 16. Okay, 16 minus 8 would be 8. My 0 stays over here. 6 minus 3 would be 3. All right, you already knew that if you cut it in half, your answer is going to be 380, but I just wanted to show you the subtraction process also. So your sales price for the t-shirt would be $3.80. Okay, then number 18, the tax on the shirt is 5%. What is the total you must pay? Okay, so we have the $3.80. That's how much it is after the sales, after the sale, 50% off sale. But thank you to Uncle Sam, we still have to pay tax on it. So we need to take $3.80. Okay, we're going to multiply that by, here's a little trick I learned. We're going to multiply that by 1.05. Okay, when you multiply this by 1 point the percent, you come out with a full answer and you don't need to do a second step. Okay, so 5% is our 0.05, but I'm putting a 1 point in front of it. And like I said, that'll give you the final answer so you don't have to go back and do that second step. So let's multiply this out. We get 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 4 would be 19. Okay, I'm going to have a placeholder and then a bunch of zeros. 0, 0, 0. 2 placeholders now. I'm going to have 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 8 is 8, and 1 times 3 is 3. Okay, I'm going to add these together. I have 4 decimal places, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So 5%, sorry, that's the school bell. Okay, so 5% of my $3.80 means I have to pay a total of $3.99, which means the tax was about 19 cents. Okay, so there's that little trick. If you multiply it by the 1 point%, you get the full answer. Otherwise, if I would have just multiplied 3.80 times by 5.05, I would have gotten 0.19, and then I would have had to go back and add it on to my $3.80 up there. So doing that little trick gives you the final answer instead of having to go back and do that second step. All right, that is lesson, what was that, lesson 11 on Zeta. I will see you next time.